lately I've been playing with this app and I'm like totally obsessed with it. Like seriously, I've been even dreaming about it. So I just have to share this app with you guys today. So I'm gonna jump to my computer so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Well, recently I found out that there is this concept called a second brain. And when I found out about that, I was very intrigued by it because I run I run a company, I run multiple courses online. I have my career, I have to memorize different music and scripts and plan. I have so much in my mind that if I could have a second brain, to me it would be like, oh my goodness. And I know that like nowadays we even think about the phone as kind of a second brain. I mean, who nowadays remember everyone's phone number? We don't. Sometimes we don't even like remember. I don't even know like my daughter's and my son's phone number, like for real, because we just kind of rely on the phone as a second brain. And I remember that before because I am from a generation where we didn't have cell phones. Over here, as you can see, I have my screen. This app is called Obsidian. It's kind of like an open source app sort of thing. It's free for the moment. I don't know if they ever plan on charging for the app, but the thing is that it is very simple and you can add a lot to it. So what you see right now, for an example, like right now, this is my second brain evolving at this moment. So for instance, as you can see right here, this little dot over here that connects all these different thoughts that you see, that's my course. That's one of my online courses. If you see, there is this one little bits apart here that connects to another branch of things. And this is kind of how our brain works, because we kind of like make connections with, our experiences, our life experiences, and all sorts of things. So the interesting thing here is that you can actually start visualizing connections that you have, because this is the thing. I added this information in here, so I know what's in here. So, and it's in my brain, of course. But when you make it, I'm a very visual person, and when you make something visual like this, so that you can actually see the connections instead of just like think the connection. I know it's one step, towards letting this whole process take over me actually thinking. I know, but it helped me become so much more productive. And I've been doing this just for the last couple of days and already feel an improvement in my productivity. So I'm gonna give this a shot. I thought I'm gonna give this a shot. So how this works is like I was showing you. Over here you have my course, for an example, okay? And as you can see, there is a little branch in my course over here that connects to other things other than my course. Like for instance, this has nothing to do with my course, but is connected to something that has to do with my course. So for instance, my course, my online course, has a system implemented to it, okay? And right here in this dot, for an example, is a note that I made. I started doing daily notes over here as well. Is a note that I made on this day, and it talks about Obsidian, of course, because Obsidian, which is this app itself, is a whole entire system itself. So the thing is, when I start a new creative process, okay, I can come in here later because it's all sorts of things that I have here, okay? It's not only my work, because what I want to do, like for instance, this little note over here is about stress. I write in Portuguese and in English over here, so that's why you guys see all this like different languages going on. So as you can see, I have a real confusing brain. So the moment that I can actually visualize some things, it actually kind of starts making a lot of sense, and I can connect things faster than before. Because of course, all this that are here, it's stuff that I read before and I entered it here. But in order for me to access it, I would have to spend a lot of time trying to think about different connections to finally get, the connection that I'm making here. So for instance, I have some book reviews that I started because I've been reviewing books forever. I didn't import all of them yet, but I'm going to start doing that soon. So I have Miracle Morning here for an example. Okay, this is one of my notes. I haven't gone over it, to make the connections yet, but over here you can see some connections. So for instance, this is connected to affirmations and silence, which I plan to make a note on it, and to reading and writing and all that. Just today, for an example, I made this little cool thing over here that I have all these different workspaces. I made this little workspace where I can watch YouTube videos and take notes right away. So over here, I have my favorite channels that I can search for really quick over here. So let's say that I'm watching this video for an example, okay? So if I'm watching this video, I can make notes over here. And then after I'm done with the notes, I'll just actually make a note for that video. I was watching this video today about the Fight Club writer and what his thoughts on life, death, and purpose. And I started watching it, and I thought that it was really cool, that it was worth making notes. So what I did, I came in here and I opened up that watch on YouTube. So I can load it. So for an instance over here, I loaded this page and I started taking the notes over here. So I'm just gonna bring that back so you guys can see. So this is the video. I can grab that here if I want to watch it again, and I can load it here. I just have to change this for the video title. Then when I hit Command E, it will load the actual video that I mentioned over here. And the thing is, this makes my process of watching videos on YouTube and everything, that I'm in contact with all this different information from books, articles, videos, and everything, it makes it a lot more purposeful, because now I can make quick notes over here. And as you can see, the notes are not that quick. These are the notes that I did only from that one video, because I was watching and all these things that he was bringing up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to write that down. So, and it was very, very cool. And so now what I do with it is actually very simple. So you might say, well, then now you have all these notes everywhere, and except from having this view where you can kind of like see all these different notes running everywhere, what are you going to do with it? You might be asking, what does that have to do with like having a second brain? The whole entire idea is for you to have an archive of things that you had actually worked on, and it had gone through a process of refinery, where that note, when it gets to the archive file, it's actually already, like for instance, this note is in my archive file. It means that it's very concise, is very thought through, and if I ever need to write anything about that subject again, I can come to it very quickly and refer to it. So in this way, whether I'm watching a YouTube video on the internet or whatever I'm doing, I'm actually really taking that information in, because while I'm watching the video, I'm taking quick notes. And after, I'll just leave it like that for a couple of days, and then I'll come back and I'll go through that whole entire process with that note. Whatever note I'm taking, doesn't matter what the note is, I'm gonna make it go through my process of really refining that note until it comes to the archive. So by the time that it's at the archive, it already has so much of me in it, you know, of my conclusions, of my perception on it, and really what's meaningful to me and how it applies to my life and, you know, everything. So this way, I'm not only consuming things for consuming it, for the sake of consuming it. And I've done this even with like movies. If I finish watching a movie and I had, you know, all these insights about that movie, I'll quickly grab my phone and write all the insights from the movie, and I'll start a note. That way I can come back and then go through that process with the note and then refine that note until it becomes an archive. And when it's in the archive, it will be useful to me later on in a very precise and clean way, you know, that I don't have to, you know, go back and think, oh, what was that movie and what was really, you know, the insight I had, or what was that idea that I was, you know, that I thought that it was very cool or anything. But anyway, I guess you guys got my point. And I just wanted to share this with you guys. If you want to know more about how I actually organize and how, you know, I make this process, and, you know, even how I made the shortcut, you know, to import things to Obsidian, or even because when you start working with Obsidian, none of this is here. You have to actually input everything. So if you guys want to learn how to write things onto Obsidian so that you have all of these, you know, things, if you thought that it was interesting, write me in comments and I'll make a video about it, okay? I hope you guys like this tip and that it makes you very productive and purposeful. I'll see you next week.